I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil.
I remember I was only 13 when I met the demon. Gave me a deuce and a bundle of cocaine. Told me to sell to my people, make sure you keep them cleaning. If any try to short you, make sure that you leave them leaking. He said,
I'ma hold you down when problems pop up.
how you got me moving this dope? Want me in lockup? He said,
Don't you want the Benz vertible with the top up?
Yeah.
Stop bitching, get in that kitchen, let it rock up. Bitches love the dope boy, especially when it's walk up. I know you know
who
Ron.
the plug from by the block up?
I'll tell you a little secret, make sure that you keep your mouth shut. Ron got a Lexus, crib in Philly in Texas. Trips to the Bahamas, just got a whip for his mama. He fucking up the commas, be honest, he seemed decent though.
I hear you, but I just seen Ron about a week ago. Fat, he ain't looking too good. His knees is kind of slow. I asked him why the struggle. He got stuck up for his bundle, but them 6 hollow tips in his legs would made him crumble.
At least he got a house and mama is living good.
Said the fans took it all. He right back in the hood. I see you try to play me. You gave us crack in the 80s. Made us abort our babies and making hoes out our ladies. I know you got me gravy, but Satan, you must be crazy. It's gonna take more than cars when to amaze me. I seen niggas shoot for the stars, but being lazy. Never get their head at the clouds, so you don't faze me.
I guarantee that you gon' regret it. Remember I said it.
No, you could dead it.
What you saying? I can't win?
No, devil, nice try. So until we meet again,
I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. I ain't religious or superstitious, but we been getting fucked up put to the side like a mistress. Police patrolling why? Because prison became a business. They murder one of ours and they start talking about forgiveness. We think that it's alright because we got public assistance. If this ain't hell, dog, what is this? Where was all lives mattered when they killed Osama? There was no peace talk like the Dalai Lama. Bush dropping bombs saying he gon' bring the drama. They got justice, man, they even caught the Boston bomber. But when we ride, they send the military in armor. When we fight oppression, then our people die martyr. You reap what you sow, some people call it karma. When Christ return, y'all gon' get this harvest like the farmer. Don't tell me don't bring up the past no more. They still trying to settle the score with a side of Shakur. I changed my life and I'm just trying to live life right. But at night I look behind me and see flashing lights, patting me down. You got nothing that's poking me right. I don't smoke or push pills, I gave up my vice. So Mr. Officer, why you wanna take my life? And your honor, why you gave our homeboy's life? I've been wondering why you shot our homeboy twice. Pussy with a gun screaming after he got a knife. He came from Habibi's spot, it was chicken and rice. Shit's tripe, I'm just giving visuals like Skype. Ash Trayvon, Mike Brown, the Kai Girlie, Eric Garner, Sean Bell, Philando, Olden, Sterling, Jaquan McDonald. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is.
Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Shabbat Thumb to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemal Thumb Shem Shad all the sisters. All right, we're about to get started. All right, I'm Peace Officer YAHANNA, the Commanding General YAHANNA. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. All right, today is Friday night's Lashawan Qadash class. All right, Friday night's Lashawan Qadash. We're going to start, we're going to get this class back up and started for the No Cowards Canada YouTube page. If you're a brother, sister, Black, Hispanic, or Native American living in Canada, make sure you tune into these classes, all right? This class every Friday night. We're going to be teaching the Hebrew to our people. All right, we're teaching Hebrew. This is the language of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we teach that, excuse me, we teach that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and we need to return back to our culture. We need to return back to the ways, the ways of our ancestors, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. According to the Bible, we find our history in that book, in the Bible. And that's what we teach in the I.S.U.P.K. All right, so every Friday night, we're teaching the language of our people. All right, rather than speaking Hispanic, rather than speaking Spanish, rather than speaking French, English, these are all the language of the people that colonized us. This is not the language of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, you look up some archaeology. They found some archaeology over in Ohio. I think those were the Decalogue stones. And you see the natives. Some of their pottery and their different artifacts that they had. You see Hebrew written all over their artifacts. Why? Because the indigenous people in Canada, you are one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's your culture. That's your history. Right? You can look up the Decalogue stone for yourself. Lost lunar stones and different things like that, and see what our people were speaking, how our people were speaking, right? And so every Friday night, we're teaching the language of our people. All right? The language of our people is known as Lashawan Qadash. All right? This is how you would spell Lashawan Qadash in the Hebrew. All right? And this is how you would pronounce it. All right? In Hebrew, we read right to left. Okay, not like English, where they read left to right. In the Hebrew, we read right to left. Okay? And so this first character here is a la. This next character here is pronounced sha. This next character here is pronounced wa. And this last character here is pronounced na. All right? And so we have these little connectors here which let us know how to pronounce syllables. All right? Which is why we write it beneath each character in the Hebrew. Okay? This lets us know how to pronounce each of these characters. So this word right here, okay, written in the Hebrew is Lashawan. Okay, Lashawan in English means language. Right? Language or tongue. Lashawan. And then we have this word here, we have a qua, a da, and a sha. And again, these syllables here, or these connectors here, let us know how to pronounce this word. Right? So here, the qua is pronounced like that. Qua, okay, it's singular. We pronounce it qua when this connector is faced this way. And then this connector here connects these two characters. Okay, so instead of saying sha at the end, right, where you would add an A sound, right, we don't say quadash ah, we say quadash. Okay, we have the da and the sha. Okay, and these two characters right here, they connect. So we drop the syllable here on the sha, right, and putting it together, we say dash. Okay, dash. So this word right here is correctly pronounced Qadash. Okay, and Qadash in English is translated as holy. All right. When you pick up the Bible and you start reading about the culture of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you'll see that we're commanded to be holy. Right? Another way of saying holy is set apart. Okay? What does that mean? Be different. Okay? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you got to be different from everybody else. Be holy. Be set apart. Don't carry yourself and act like these other nations of people. Don't act like the nation of people that oppressed you, that put our ancestors in slavery and oppress us today. Be set apart. Be different. Don't eat pork. Don't eat shrimp. Don't eat crab. Don't eat lobster like every other nation of people. Be different. You're a brother and you lay down with a sister, right? You have sex. You sleep with another woman, right? You got to keep that woman. Keep her for life. Never throw her away. You lay down with a sister and you marry that woman, she is yours for life. That's different from the rest of these nations. That's different from how everybody else around you acts. All right? That's what you're called to do, Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. Be different. All right? And so this is our language. This is the name of the language that we speak. The holy tongue, the holy language, the set apart language. Okay? Everything about us is supposed to be different. And it's no different from the language that we speak. All right? So the name of our language is Lashawan Qadash. Right? Which some self-proclaimed biblical scholars, right, they might also call it Hebrew. Okay? And what is Hebrew? Where do we get Hebrew from? Hebrew is I.bar. Okay? I.bar. I.bar. Okay, that's Hebrew. That's how we say Hebrew in the Lashawan Qadash. I.bar. And I.bar in English means from. I think another way of saying that word is pass. All right. Let's see if I can look that up really quick. Genesis 39 and 17. Let's see what that says. Genesis 14:13. Genesis 14 and 13. Let's see what it is. Genesis 14 and verse 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew. Let's see if I can find this word here. Abram. Abram. So this word here, Hebrew, okay, if you have something called a Strong's Concordance, you can find it in Strong's H 5680. Okay, Strong's H 5680, and it is the word Ibaria. Okay. Now right here, this is known as the modern Hebrew. Okay. Modern Hebrew, also known as the Assyrian Hebrew, which a lot of our manuscripts are written in today, which is why we also teach every Friday how to read and write in Assyrian Hebrew. And all these words here, they all translate. Okay, right here is an I in the Lashawan Qadash. All right, we have an I. You can see that? Oh, that's right on the left. Okay, let me move this over a little bit. So this word, Strong's, all right, this word Ibar, Hebrew, you can look it up in your concordance. This is Strong's H5680. All right, you come to class every Friday, you'll learn what a Strong's concordance is, how to use a Strong's concordance, why it's important. All right, tune in and we'll definitely go over it, teach you how to use it. So this is Strong's H5680. Okay, and we have this word Ibaria. Okay, Ibaria. This is Assyrian Hebrew. Biblical usage. I want the definition. So the Strong's definition here they have is a descendant of Eber. Okay? this word Ibar, right? They're a descendant of Eber. Which was used to distinguish Israel from foreigners. Meaning one from beyond, okay, or from the other side. Okay? This word Eber means from or past. Okay? These are just some of the different biblical uses. These are different examples of how it's used in the lexicon. Okay, this is the Strong's definition. Descendant of Eber. Okay. This is a descendant of Abraham. Abram. Okay, this was from a brother who came from over the waters. Okay. He went through something, he came into a new land. Okay, he was from the other side of the river. And so this is where this word comes from. Hebrew, that's the English. Now in the Assyrian, this is how it would look. And in the Assyrian, each of these characters, they translate, they all come from the Lashawan Qadash. Okay, we have a character for each of these characters. Okay? Because the Lashawan Qadash is the original language. It's the original language of our ancestors. So this character right here, the ayan, which means your eyeball, would be this character in the Lashawan Qadash. Okay? In the Lashawan Qadash, we have characters, right? Character is another word for character is an image. Okay? This is the image of an eyeball, somebody's eye, which is why it's shaped like this. Okay? The name of this character is ayan. Okay? It means your eye. To see, to look, an eyeball. Okay? This next character right here is a bayath. The Lashawan Qadash, we write it like this. Okay? Bayath means house. This is the character or the image of a tent, somebody's house, somebody's dwelling place. Okay? And so on and so forth. This is how all of our characters are in the Lashawan Qadash. They each represent something. So next we have a Ra and then a Ya. Okay? Bar Ya. Okay? Bar Ya. Up here we have Ibar. Okay? This is the root word. Now, when in the Hebrew, okay, you're going to learn and we're going to get into it. All Hebrew words, okay, all Hebrew words, every word that comes from the Lashawan Qadash from the Hebrew is made up of 2 or 3 characters. Okay, 2 or 3 characters. We also call this the root word. Okay, Ibar. Ibar is the root word. Okay, that is one word in the Hebrew. How we form sentences in Hebrew And we add in things that are called uh, pronouns and adjectives, also known as possessive words, um, and oh, sorry, what's the other one? Possessive words and prefixes. Okay. Now, possessive words comes after a word, and it lets you know what the word belongs to. Okay. Prefixes mean pre or before. Okay, a word that comes before the root word. And this helps give context to what we're reading. That's how we form sentences in the Hebrew. Okay? So you see 4 characters here, you know this is now a sentence. Okay, this is no longer one word. Ibar is the root word for Hebrew. Okay? And we'll get into prepositions and possessive words as we go throughout different classes. Okay? So this is just a small introduction. Again, to any brother or sister tuning in, Shalom Yahweh Shemeshach Barakathan, all the brothers, and Shalom Yahweh Shemalathan Bashem Yahshad, all the sisters. All right. Every Friday when we get in this class, we're always going to go over the alphabet. The alphabet's very important. The alphabet's important to any language that you're learning. You want to start off learning the alphabet, learning how to pronounce each character. And once you get through your alphabet, you learn how to pronounce it, then you can start to read and write. All right. Okay. So let's go over the alphabet. Let's go over the alphabet of the Lashawan Qadash, the Hebrew, the language of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And so again, in the Hebrew, everything is right to left. So the first character is an A or an Allah, and the second character is a Baya. Okay? Now, I always stop here to show people a little bit more of how our language works, how the Hebrew language works. Okay, and if you're tuned in, make sure you take notes. Okay, make sure you take some notes. Get a pen and a notepad. Take notes. That way you can learn just like you would learn anything. All right, take some notes. Okay, so this is our alphabet. These are the first 2 characters of our alphabet. Okay, this character right here is a Allah. In the Greek, this word is known as alpha. And the next character we have is a Bayaf. In the Greek, they would say beta. All right? And this is where we get today in the English language. When they put it together, alphabet. All right? Every language that we speak today originates from the Lashawan Qadash. Okay? The Lashawan Qadash is the original language, the first language spoken. It's the language of our ancestors. Okay? Because remember, black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man, you are holy. You are set apart. Okay? Deuteronomy, I think in Deuteronomy chapter 6, you read where it says that the Israelites are above all nations on the face of the earth. You're black, Hispanic, and Native American, you are above all people. You are better than every other race of people, every other nation of people. You're not equal to the European, you're not equal to the Asian. You are better than them. You are above all people. You are holy. You are set apart. And you can just see that in the way we carry ourselves on this earth. We are better than every other race of people in everything that we do, including the language that we speak. Okay? Now, in the Hebrew, how we form words is we put these different characters in the alphabet together. The first word in the Hebrew that we form in the Hebrew is Abba. Abba. Okay. Abba in English means father. Okay. In Hebrew, this is how you get the word father. You put the alaf and the bayah together. Okay, we're reading it right to left. Okay. Abba. This is how you pronounce it. Abba. Okay, it means father. Now, an alaf in English means an ox, okay, or a cow. And I said earlier, bayah means house. Okay? A house is somewhere that you live, somewhere that you dwell. Okay? Somewhere where your family stays. Alright? This word Allah, which means cow or ox, okay? This word represents the first. It represents strength. Okay? Something that was taught to me from the men above me, and that I'll teach to you, what we teach in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, is that understanding agriculture will heavily help you understand the culture of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the culture of Israelites. Okay? culture of the nation, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You understand agriculture will help you understand a lot of the Bible. It will help you understand our culture and our language. The ox or the cow, right, was used to plow the fields. Right? You look at a cow is a very strong animal. Okay? This represents strength. Okay, this word Allah, the cow. And so where we get this word father from, a father represents strength of a house. Okay? Abba represents the strength of a house. Okay, that's what this word means, father in the English. Abba is the strength of a house. Right? You understand that, you'll understand verses in the Bible where it says things like, to bind the strong man, you must, or paraphrasing, how do you enter into a strong man's house? Right? You must first bind the strong man. Right? The strong man, the father, the Abba, the man of the house. You got to bind him. You have to shackle him, chain him down. That's how you enter a family's house. Because the strength of that house is shackled, is broken down, is defeated. Right? Because a man protects. A man protects his house. He is the strength of the house. Okay? And so this is how we form words in the Hebrew, right? And as I said earlier, words are made of 2 or 3 Hebrew characters. All right? So going through the alphabet, we got A, Ba, Da, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Ta, Za, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and a Tha. Okay? These are all 22 characters of the Hebrew language. Okay? Again, if you got a pen and paper, this is your starting point. You want to write down from right to left the alphabet of the Hebrew. Alphabet of the Hebrews. Okay? You want to learn the alphabet and you want to learn how to pronounce the alphabet. Okay? have the characters on top and how you pronounce it beneath. So we have A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya. Okay. Then we have a Ka, Wa, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Za. Okay. We're almost done. We have a Kwa, Ra, Sha, Ra. Okay. So we have the alphabet. Okay, all the characters are on top, and then beneath it, we have the pronunciation of each of the characters. Okay. Quick shout out to the chat. Shalom Casey, Yahweh Shema Thamba Shemi Shai. Shalom Nawah, Yahweh Shema Thamba Shemi Shai. Tawada for tuning in. Make sure you hit the sign-in links. And before the class ends, make sure you hit the sign-out links. Okay? We have a question. Question in the chat is, what does each character mean, stand for? What I can do, really quickly, I'll give you a second to get this down. So once we get this down, this is the full alphabet. Okay, this is how you pronounce each of these characters. And what I'll put up next is the Assyrian alphabet. Okay, I'll put up the Assyrian alphabet, and beside it, I'll put what each character means and represents. Okay. Okay. So, in the Assyrian, right, all the characters translate into the Lashawan Qadash, right? So, this is the Allah. In the Assyrian, we would write it like this. Okay? That's the Allah. And in English, it means cow. Okay? We have a bayat, which means house. Okay? So we have the Lashawan Qadash at the top, and the Assyrian is beneath it. So we have house, then we have the mall, right? You can see the similarities, right? This is a camel. Right? We have a dog. Okay? The lot, which means door. Syrian, something like that. And in English, it means to put forth. So this means to put forth. Next, we have a wall. See if I can write a couple of other ones. Wa, za, ka, sa, yeah. Okay. We have a hook. This is a fence. This is a basket. Zayan. Zayan is a weapon. And a yard is a hand. Okay. Okay. So we got the first 10 characters up here. We have a A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya. Okay. And underneath is the meaning of each of these characters. Okay. So you can see in the Assyrian, right? This character looks different. Still means cow. right? The Assyrian, this character looks different. It still means house, okay? They all have the same meaning. They just interchange, okay? There was a time during the Assyrian captivity with the nation of Israel, like we are today. We were put in cargo slave ships and sold to a nation whose tongue we didn't understand, sold to our enemies, people that hate us. Just like today, thousands of years ago, we were also put in captivity. Okay? Why does the nation of Israel constantly go into captivity? Because we have a contract between us and the Most High. Okay? The Most High power. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? And that contract says if we obey him, we'll be blessed. We'll be given a land flowing with milk and honey. Okay? We'll be given the riches of this earth. Okay? We'll live beautifully. We'll have a good kingdom, a good land. Right? We'll have rulership over this earth. But if we disobey, right, which we have again and again, there are curses that befall us. That's how we know who the children of Israel are today. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we fit those curses to a T. So the reason we picked up this language here, just like we speak English, like we call ourselves Hispanic, speaking Spanish, we speak Creole, right, different dialects of French. We speak these languages because of our disobedience to the Most High. And there was a time we were put under an Assyrian captivity where we also picked up a different form of Hebrew. Okay, and so this style writing, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we looked at this style as a more uppity, a more how should I say? We almost looked at this language like it was prestigious, or this style of font had some kind of prestige, right? Like today, you might call an uppity Negro, right? Or a brother who thinks he's better than everybody because he made it, right? He finally is pleasing his oppressor. He's made a way in with his daddy, his oppressor, right? The so-called white man, the European man. And because he can speak his language well and speak it fluently, right? It was like we almost as if we looked up to these people, right? Like we finally made it, right? We make our oppressor happy, and so this is how we picking this style of writing. Okay, that's how we viewed this style of writing, but it comes from the Lashawan Qadash. Okay. Okay. And so this is the remainder of the alphabet. Okay. So let me check one thing. Lock here. Just gotta flip that around. So we have this one first, and then like that. Okay. And so now the meaning of all these, all right. This is a kaf, that means palm of hand. Okay, let's go through all these. We have a mod, is a teaching stick. This means water. Napash means sprout or to bring forth life. So that means Napash. Okay, so you can put sprout. Okay, we can also put soul breathing. Okay, right. That's why I was saying to understand our language, you want to understand agriculture because an apash is like it's a sprout, right? You see a small sprout coming out of the ground, right? It means to bring forth life. Okay. So in apash we have a sawad. Sawad is a flag. Right? Ayan is an eye. Ayan, mouth. Na is a weapon. Yeah, this is a tomahawk. Tomahawk. This is a trap. Okay, or a snare. If you looked up this in ancient Israelite culture, you can actually see the traps that we used. Okay, I'd have to find a picture, but it was something that like clapped down on something, almost like think of like a bear trap, like a bear trap today. Okay, so this is a trap or a snare. We have a ra'ash. This means head. Okay, a shan. Shan is teeth. Shan is teeth. And then a tha is a mark. Okay, so mark. And again, these are images, right? Like here we have a mark, almost think of like a X marks the spot on a map, right? That's where they get that from. This is the image of a tooth, right? You look at it, it's a teeth, right? This right here, this is a head. This is somebody's neck and their head, right? You have a snare. This is a weapon. This is somebody's mouth, right? Ayan, somebody's eye. This is a flag, right? Mem, water, right? You can see the lines there, like the waves, right? A teaching stick. I would have to look up. I think you can find this image again, just like the snare. In ancient Israelite culture, you can see the teaching stick that we have and that we use, right? The palm. This is a palm of hand, right? If you look into your palm, you can see the lines inside the palm of your hand. That's where we get this character from, right? All these characters come from images that we can see. Okay, they all have meaning. They all mean something. And it's no different when we put these characters together to form our words. Okay? Each of our words means something. Right? You can find a lot of definitions in the words. You can find a lot of deeper meaning into a word, right? Like the word Abba that we went over. Understand where these words come from. And so this is the meaning of each of these words. Okay, so we have the alphabet, we have the pronunciation, and we have the meaning of each of the words. So we got one more question in the chat, and then we're going to get into the topic. The question is, Salakia sir, how do you say mom in Hebrew? And what do the characters in mom mean? Okay, so the word for mom or mother in the Hebrew is ama. Okay, ama. In the Assyrian, it would look like this. Okay. Ama. So we have this word ama here, right? Which alap, and alap is a strength or cow, right? Ox. Alap, and then a mem. How do we say that? A mayam, Salakia. Mayam is water. Okay. So let me look up this word mom. See if I can find it. Let's try mother. So mother is Strong's H517. And we have this word ama. The Strong's definition is we have a mother, a bond of the family. Okay, so mother here, the definition is like the bond of the family. So this is the Strong's definition. Okay. This is also a good book to get. It's a Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Okay, it gives you the definition of words. So now, if you look up the word mom in here, or mother, what's interesting is it tells you to learn about a mother from the definition of family. Okay? So I'll read a little bit of a family, and then I'll jump down to where it speaks on what a mother is in the family. So this definition of family, it says the Old Testament has no term corresponding exactly to the English family. The Hebrew family, this is why, the Hebrew family unit was larger than families today. It says, and included some or all of the following. The father or the master, so the father was also known as the master, also known as the supreme head of the household. Okay? Had his wives, his concubine and their children, his children by other women, daughters-in-law and sons-in-law living on the paternal estate, other free Israelite friends and relatives, foreigners living under the protection, and male and female slaves. Okay, so the whole family unit is started, and how should I say, is under the authority of a man. Okay? A man is that supreme head. He's the authority of this English word family. Okay? And then it goes on to speak on about marriages. And it says a marriage was arranged not by the young people involved, but by the man and the family of the bride, or whom a dowry or purchase money was paid to her father. In spite of this commercial aspect of the marriage contract, there is evidence that the love of the young people for each other often had an important part in the preliminaries of the marriage. The wife was regarded as the property of the husband. He could divorce her, but she could not divorce him. Not only were polygamy and concubinage permitted, but no disgrace was attached to them. Wives, however, usually enjoyed more consideration than concubines. Okay, so now going down to what a wife is. Okay? And the reason I'm reading this is because that word mom, okay, doesn't translate to the Hebrew. Okay, there's a word mother, right, which is ama. Okay, and the Strong's has it as a definition of the bond of the family. Okay, and so where do we get this concept is that in the Hebrew culture, right, it's more concrete, right? It's the words that we have actually mean something, right? Each character means something and represents something, okay? A little different from the English, whereas when we just see the letter F, it doesn't have any meaning. Okay, that letter F doesn't mean anything, the letter A doesn't mean anything, but when we form it all together, we give that word a definition, right? Whereas in the Hebrew, each character represents something, okay, and it's a meaning in itself, right? So when we get to this word Alma, this is more of like a concept, right? Like as we said about father, the word Abba is the strength of a house. It's the concept. He's that protector, right? He has a role in the house. Whereas the woman, the mother, right, she gets that title because she is now bonded to her man. She's bonded to her husband. And so now that bond, she is now has a position inside of that house, right? And so this is where we get the concept of family, and the definition in here says a wife was bought and paid for. Her actual position was usually far from being a mere cattle. Her own family stood ready to avenge her in case she was mistreated by her husband. She had the chief place in the subfamily formed by her and her children in a polygamous household. The early training of the children was given mostly by her. Okay, so what is mother? What is Alma? What is a wife? She is, you could say, like the second in command, right? She has a position in that house, right, to follow what her husband orders. Right? The Bible commanded us, the Most High commanded us, right? If you're a man, right, you're a man, you come from a family, you were born from your father's loins, right? And that man and that woman had a son, right? You are a part of a family. And then the Most High said, right, once you're older, be fruitful and multiply, right? Join yourself to another woman and start your own family, right? create your own family. That's why he said that's why you leave your mother and your father. You leave their household and you start your own family. All right? And now that you've started your own family, right, you guys now have order inside your household. You have the man who is the head. He's in charge of the household, right? He's in charge of everything within that household, everything within his family. And then you have the mother, which they defined as the, I'll say it one more time, she had the chief place in the subfamily formed by her and her children. Okay? So that mother, she has that chief place of position underneath her husband. Okay? And hopefully that answers your question. All right. So now we've gone through the alphabet. Okay. We've gone through the alphabet. Let's go through. What should we go through next? Let's do some practice, just reading and writing. Okay. So we'll just go through maybe a couple sentences, and then we'll move on. We'll move on to something else. All right. So let's go to. We're gonna jump to the book of Psalms, chapter 149. Yeah. Psalms 149, and we're just gonna go through. We'll go through a sentence. Okay. I believe we're running through some of the time. Okay, so let's just do a little practice with sentences. This is Psalms chapter 149. Before, let's go start at verse 6. Okay. All right, verse 6 says, "Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand." Okay. I'll pull up the Hebrew. All right, an app I use is known as the Blue Letter Bible. Blue Letter Bible is a decent app that you can use, just to help you do some translating from English to Hebrew. So we're in Psalms 149. We're at verse 6. Okay, so this is Blue Letter Bible. Psalms 149 and verse 6. Okay, and when you click on the verse, right, in the app, there's something called tools beside each verse. If you click on that tools button, okay, you can see some more information. You can see the Hebrew. You can find definitions, right? You can hear how different words are pronounced in the Hebrew. Okay. And so this is how it's written down in the scrolls. Okay, you can see the Assyrian. You can see the Assyrian writing. Okay. So let's do a little practice. Okay, reading and writing the Hebrew. Okay, we're in verse 6. So we're Wah. Put the Assyrian up. Okay, so that's the Assyrian. Okay, that's how they have it written down. Okay. And so, right, when we went over, earlier, we went over the alphabet, okay? And I wrote down the pronunciation of each of these characters. Okay, that way when you see this, you see these characters, right, we're able to pronounce it, okay? And we're also able, okay, to take the Assyrian and take each of these characters, right, and write it down in the Lashawan Qadash, right? We have a Ra here, okay? So we could write down the Ra character, right? We have a Wa, we have a Ma, we have a Ma, we have a Wa, right? And then we have a Tha, okay? I'll write down the connectors below it. Okay, so we know how to pronounce it. All right, we have a Ah and we have a La, so we can write down those characters, right? All. We have a Ba, a Ga, a Ra, a Na, and a Ma, right? Ba, Ga, Ra, Na, Ma. Ra, Na, Ma. Ra, Na, Ma. Okay? Listen to character. Bagar, Bagar, Wa, Na, Ma. Okay? Bagar, Wanam. Then we have a Wa, a Ka, a Ra, and a Ba. Okay? We have a Wa, Ka, Ra, Ba. Okay? Wa, Ka, Ra. Okay? And we'll stop there before we fit in some more. Okay? All right, so we look at the Assyrian, right? This is how it's written in the scrolls, right? We have a Ra Wa, Mama Wa, Ra Wa, Mama Wa, All, Bagar Wanam, right? We have Wa Kara, all right? Wa Kara, all right? We can pronounce each of the characters, so we can pronounce these words: Wa, a Ka, a Ra, and a Ba. Okay, and once you start learning the Hebrew and the syllables, okay, you'll start to learn how to form these words, right? The Wa Kara. Okay, this is a Ra, a Rawa, it's like a Rawam, Rawam, Ma Ra, Rawam, Ma Wa. Okay, Rawam, Ma Wa. That's how you pronounce that word. This is an Ah and a La. These connect. All right, Al. Right, you'll start seeing this word, this two-letter word all throughout the Bible. Okay, it means unto. All right, then we have a Ba, a Ga, a Ra, a Wa, a Na, and a Ma. Okay, Ba, Gar, Wa, Na. Okay, and so we take these characters, right, and we just write it down in the Lashawan Qadash. We translate, right? We have a Ra here, we write Ra. And we have a Wa, we have a Wa. We have two Ma's, a Ma Ma, we have Ma Ma. Wa and a Tha. Wa and a Tha. Okay? Rawam, Ma Wa, Al, Bagar, Wanam, Wa, Kara. Okay? So I said it's very important to get the alphabet down, and it's very important to get the pronunciation down. I also said earlier, right, Hebrew words consist of 2 or 3 characters. Okay, so you see a long, right, a bunch of characters. This is 3, 4, 5, 6 characters. Okay, all put together. This is more than one word. Okay, you have different preposition and possessive words. Okay, added to the root word. Let's see if I can find that root word in here. Okay, it's that first word. Rawam Mawa. So if I go to the Strong's, right, I can look up the root word, right, by clicking on that word. Okay? I'm not sure if you can see properly with the lighting, but it says the root word in here is Ramam. Okay? Ramam, which is right here, mom, Ramam, that root word means to be exalted, to be lifted up. Okay? Okay? So now we have a wa, which is after the ra. Now I'll have to go in my notes. Just taking a guess off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure when you see this wa after here, it's making it, is that one a plural? That's not plural. It's like adding ing, okay, to a word. Okay, don't take this down in your notes. Okay, you always want to be 100%. Okay, I'd have to go through my notes. So I'm just going off by the top of my head right now. Okay, but I'm just showing you that these different characters added in beside the root word, they all have different meanings. Okay, I believe the wa here adds an ing to this word exalted or lifted up. And then we have some possessive words at the end, right? We have a wa and a ma. Okay. See if I can find those really quick. Okay. So if you see this character, if you see a wa, right, at the end of the word, right, this is a possessive word, right, known as his or him, right? If you see a ma at the end of the word, right, this would be there. Okay. So now these are different possessive words that you can find at the end of a root word. And this is how we form long sentences inside the Hebrew. Okay? So if we go back to the verse, this is Psalms 149 and 6. Go to the interlinear. And the King James translators translated this, okay? This word that you see here, okay, they translated it into the English, and they said this is how we would best say this phrase in the Hebrew. Okay, and they said, let the high praises. Okay? high praises. Okay. Now this next word, all, right? Where in English or the modern Hebrew, right, we see the words like Elohim, right? We see this word all over, Elohim. Okay. You'll also hear El. Okay. This comes from the word Alahaya. Okay. Alahaya. Or all. Okay. This is where Muslims get the word Allah. Okay. They say Allah because they don't understand Hebrew. Okay. Allah. They're getting that from Allah. Allah Hayam, right? Hayam is plural. Yam is plural. Okay. Muslims are saying Allah, they don't understand Hebrew, right? But they're getting this from all, right? This is this word right here, all. This is power. Okay, power, authority. In English, we would say God. Okay? Okay? So when we see these possessive words here, right? Him, there, right? Him, there, exalt, right? The Israelites are saying, exalt him, exalt the Most High, right? Exalt God, exalt or give praises to, right, the Most High, the power, right? To him, their God, right, their power. Okay? Okay? And then this word here they put as in their mouth. Okay? We write it down here. Right? In their mouth. Okay? That's what the King James translators wrote. Right? Let's look up this word. It's Daran. Daran is the root word. Okay? Ran, right? This is neck, throat. Okay? You see this ba character? This is a preposition. This preposition, if it's before a word, it means in. Okay? We saw ma, right? Like I said before, ma, there. There is a possessive word, ma, there. Okay? This is how the Hebrew works. We have a root word, and then we have prepositions and possessive words. Okay? So we have Ran, right, which means neck or throat. Ba is a preposition, it means in. Ma is a possessive word, which means there. Anytime you see these at the beginning or end of a word, right, this is what these words mean. Okay? So in, throat, there, right? The Israelites are very direct, very straight, very aggressive. Okay? And so we're letting somebody know in, neck, there. That's how we speak, right? Almost kind of like barbaric, very masculine. It's a very masculine language. Okay? And so the translators wrote in their mouth, right? The 1600s, that's how they thought that that sentence in the English would best translate. Okay? So we read in Psalms that the high praises of God be in their mouth, right? And a two-edged sword in their lips, right? It's something like that. I'm paraphrasing, right? And so these are how Hebrew sentences go. Okay? So let's get the last part of that verse. Okay, we'll just get that full sentence out. So we have ba-wam, ma-waf, all, bagar, wa-nam, wa-kara. Okay? That's the beginning of the sentence. And we're just missing two more words. Okay? Or two more phrases. Okay, and I'll just write this up quickly for time. All right? So let me write this I'll write the full sentence out. Okay? So we have Rawam, Mawaf, Mawaf, Al, Bagar Wanam, Bagar. Oh, select. Sometimes I mix up the Syrian with the Lashawan Qadash. So we have Bagar, Bagar, Wanam, Bagar Wanam, Wakarab, 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 Hayap, Hayap, Yawaf, Yawaf, Bayadam, Bayadam. Okay? And so this is how we would write out the full sentence, okay, or the full verse. This is Psalms 149 and verse 6. Okay? This is how we would say it in the Hebrew. Rawam mawaf all. Slovakia. It should be Bagar. 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 Bagar wanam. Wa korab. Hayap. Yawaf. Ba yadam. Okay? So right here we have the correct full way of saying Psalms 149 and 6 in the Hebrew. Okay, one more time. Bawam, Bawa, Oh, Bagar, Wanam, Wakarab, Payap, Yawa, Ba Yadam. Okay? So that's Psalms 149 and verse 6 in the Hebrew. Okay, so we got a little time left. What we're going to do is just go over a couple words, okay, some action words that you can practice inside your house, okay? Practice saying these words, all right? You want to learn the language of our people, right? These are words that you can say and practice each day, okay? Words you can use with your family, all right? Your loved ones, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, right? And we want to start speaking the language, okay? We want to learn our language, okay? And give our kids something. Give our kids the language and culture and identity, right? One that this oppressive nation doesn't give us, right? We've been over here over 400 years, and going to school, they still don't tell Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who they are, right? They tell us we're Black, we're Afro-American, African-American, African-Canadian, West Indian, right? All these different bywords, right? Hispanic, natives, Native Indians, savages, all these different words. But they don't give us our actual identity, right? Which is why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have such a low self-esteem. They don't have an identity. They don't have any knowledge of self, okay? This is why this class is so important, to come and learn who you are. Learn your language, learn your culture, okay? So these are some words that you can speak within your household, right? Okay, we got stand, answer, turn, lay down, finish. And come. Okay? Okay? So, okay, these are some words you can write down in your notes. Okay, you're speaking to your family, right? You're speaking to your rib. You can say, Imad, stand. All right, Imad means stand. Okay, and if you're speaking to multiple people, right? You could say, Imad Yum. Okay, Imad Yum is plural. Okay, so we'll get into the plurals and prefixes, suffixes, past tense, future tense, and other classes. All right. For now, these are just the root words. Okay. These root words, we have stand, we have imad. Okay. We have answer, which is aina. All right. I'll write out how to pronounce it. Okay. This is how you would pronounce these words. Now, Hana, Shaka, Shakab, Kala is to finish. And then we have Ba'a. Okay. Shalom to the chat. Shalom, Janice Bali, Yahweh Shamar, Olatham Hashim Yashai. The water for tuning in, sis. Okay, what that means in the Hebrew is Yahweh. Yahweh is the name of the Most High. Shamar. Shamar means to guard, to watch, protect. Yahweh Shamar al Atha. All right. That means may the Most High watch over. All right. Al is over you. Atha is you. Yahweh Shamar Atha B'Hashem Yahushai. May the Most High watch over you, B'Hashem, in the name of who the world calls Christ. Okay? The water for tuning in. So we have stand, which is Imad. Answer is Aina. Turn is Pana. Lay down is Shakab. Finish is Kala. And come is Ba'a. Okay? Again, make sure you write those down. Put those in your notebooks. All right? And with that, I'm going to say Shalom, Israel. We're going to end the class. Again, this is Friday night Lashawan Qadash class. Before you leave, make sure you hit those sign out links. All right. If you're tuned in, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube pages. All right. You can also check us out on Facebook. All right. Again, make sure when you're in these classes, take notes. Take notes. Come to class. All right. Come to class and learn your language. Okay. So with that, Shalom, Israel.